Welcome back under the rug, folks. Like I said, once again, for those of you on Facebook Live, thank you for joining us early, as you guys usually do. We appreciate your attention because you could be spending it on watching porn or doing something else that you love to do, but you decide to take this time to spend with me and Christina Marley and Thompson, aka Chrissy Love, as you do on a regular basis on Thursdays for this great podcast. And Chrissy, today I had to do this show.
I
You
know.
know this was coming
I know.
because I live for this issue.
You've been trying to
This is my
stop
life's work.
payments cutting ass from 2011.
Yes, been trying for years. Well, not really. I wouldn't say. Well, yeah, essentially trying to stop the vicious cycle of abuse that we continue to perpetuate and pass on generation to generation, and we can see the results of it, the psychological damage that we have received from this, to the point where people actually fight for and defend this egregious act of beating up your children, spanking. I mean, the comments I saw, I tell you, almost brought me to tears today, Chrissy. I was stressed out all day just looking at different threads and people in support of this slave beating is what I call it. And I wish I had more time to prep the show because I really wanted to actually put the video and actually show a comparison to a slave beating, I guess, from the movie is to show how close it was, how much it resembled a beating of the slave from back in the days. So for those of you that haven't seen it, I ain't gonna say I can encourage you to watch it because it's very difficult to watch. But if you do
Did it?
want context, you can watch it. It's very disturbing. It's very hard to watch and very hard to listen to, especially because to hear her screaming and pleading and saying how she can't take it, and then the person in the background saying
Killer.
kill her. You know what I mean? It's very
But
difficult
Greg,
to watch
we
and
all been
listen to.
beat like that. And most payments say it's discipline, not abuse. We all been beat like that. I've been
I
beat like
agree.
that. You've been beat like that. I've
Hmm.
been punched in my face though. I don't think. I'm gonna
Well,
think.
I get punched in the face. I get hit in the eye with drumstick that you're supposed to beat drum with. I've been through a lot of them things, so I understand.
So that's why we are so in support of it because we've all been through it.
Yeah. But the thing is, what I've been saying is people, that's a justification for people, man. I've been through it. So what the big deal is? That ain't no big issue, man. Shoots, I've been through worse.
And I turn out good. But see, that's why when y'all is get beat with your pampers on in the old folks' home, y'all is wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
Look
Because you
here, many a cut ass I had for my parents, it plan out. But daddy dead too young, and I ain't see my mom no more. Yeah, I had plenty cut ass plan for Wendell and Marina. I love them.
uh-huh.
I
And
love
again, but it leaves a mark on you. Like, I mean, how did you feel growing up, Chrissy, getting these beaten? Like, what was going through your mind as a child as your parents were just wailing on you the way they were?
I fucking hate them. That's what used to go
Mm-hmm.
through my mind. Even though I will admit, I love my parents. And what I hated about it, my family, like every other Bayman family, not only could your ma and your pa beat you, but your auntie would beat you. Boy, one time my aunt going to beat me. I don't like her to this day. And so I will admit, when I was going through those beatings, now again, I will admit I've done some dumb shit growing up. I don't think it warranted the kind of cut ass that I got. And I hated how your parents again will let men and all beat on you. That's why we women so confused. But I will admit, when it was happening to me as a child, and I tell you, I got my last beating at 20 in front of my boyfriend.
At what?
You heard, in front of my boyfriend.
20?
In front of my boyfriend.
Who was it? Your mother or your father?
Who you think?
Marina.
Okay, don't act like that. She only trying to be saved now and see Jesus.
And you ain't fight her back?
Girl, look at Greg. Boy, look here. Greg, it was hard. I had to talk to myself. I had to continue saying, you know what? She only hit me because she angry. And yeah, I stay out late, but still.
But then you was angry too, so you had the right to hit her back then, if
You
that's your
can't.
justification.
Well, my daddy used to tell me when I was growing up. Now, my father, I got beaten maybe twice by my father, but those two beatings were severe. But my
Yes.
father always taught me growing up, and this was a joke in our family. If you hit your parents, your hand can stand up in your coffin. I know,
Wow.
I know. Don't ask me where it came from. You ever hear that? Nasty. You never hear that?
That's the first time I've ever heard
You
that.
never
That's
hear that?
that's
You
a
hit your parents, your hand can stand up in your coffin?
never. That's a new one for me just now.
But I will admit, when I was being beaten as a kid, I had evil thoughts toward my parents. What about you, Greg?
Yes, I actually, and I've shared this as well. I actually resented my mother very much growing up, and I used to question all the time whether or not she actually loved us,
Oh,
because the verbal and physical abuse that we used to receive, I was like, there's no way someone can love you and treat you like this, and it used to go through my mind all the time, and that's like you said, I hated her at times. At
yeah.
times, I
When
hated
you
her.
say that though, people think you're being mean because I said it on my show. Many a nursing home visit I had plotted for my parents.
Hmm.
But
But I did hate her. Hated her and my father at times. I
yes.
speak about, there was a time when my old man beat us one time. Listen to me. I literally thought he was going to kill us. I thought we was
Ah,
gonna die that night, and even I think I remember my mother saying, "With Jesus, Greg, you can kill the children."
that's sad. I'm sorry.
But it was ridiculous. But like I say, I have a great relationship with them now, and like you said, I still love them. You know what I mean? It ain't like I don't love them, but it's like I tell people all the time: you can love somebody, but still acknowledge their wrongdoings. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Yep.
Just because you love them doesn't mean that you have to stand by everything or justify everything that they did.
I agree.
Because good people can do bad things. Matter of fact, good people do bad things all the time.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my
But
friends
we
tell me
have
I
a
get
hard time
spoiled
separating that.
brat when I say that I
Say
have.
again?
A lot of people tell me, and I remember even when I was raising my kid, one of the reasons why I treat my son the way I treat him is because I didn't want to, um, you know, abuse. I didn't want to beat my son down like how I was beaten down. And so I think the only good part that came out of it is that the next generation is raised a bit kinder for those of us who've been affected by it in such a way. But it is such
Hmm.
a part of our culture. See that cut ass on that video? Most people have endured that.
But look at this. Look at this comment right here, Chrissy. Jameer Rahish says, "Well, about that video, I ain't gonna lie. It hurt me to watch that because I've been through it. But if the story behind where she was coming home at 10 p.m. from, then I say she deserved that beating." Now, Chrissy,
Most people said
tell
that.
me, do you think, in your opinion, right?
Hmm.
Does coming home at 10 p.m. at that age warrant the beating that you saw on that video?
It warrants a punishment. I don't think it warrants a beating. And parents beat you because of their own uh, failings, because the fact that your daughter is 14 years old and believes she could leave for school at 8:30 and come back home at 10, you have failed in doing something properly as a parent.
Hmm.
Even if you see, I got to teach these young gals, when you want grind in school, not that I know, it is at least come home from school and change your clothes, put on your play clothes, then go back out. You
Hmm.
can't stay out from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock in the night. And
Hmm.
still that level of beating, even if she just, I believe there are ways to hurt your children and make them punish them without beating that belt and that screaming and that swinging and the pleading. Now, people have said to me in my inbox, "Oh, Chrissy, she just an actress. This ain't the first or second time this happened." And that, people,
Actress?
yeah, say she was acting, and the mother and the sister told her about it before, and the Grammy told her about it before, and how the Grammy took her in, and we always justifying shit. I don't care if you come
Yeah.
home the next day. And yes, I know we worry
Yes.
about our children. One time Wayne went to practice and I didn't realize it because his tennis bag was home. I don't know where the hell he is. And I agree, you just fret, you just worry. Greg, you ain't been there yet, but you gonna fret and worry when you know your child, where the child's supposed to be. But still, that beating was more about the ma or that was the Grammy or the ma. I can't remember.
Yeah, that was in the mall. From what I understand, she just lost both of her parents like a year
Yeah,
prior.
yeah, it
So
was
there's a lot deeper issues surrounding that situation.
exactly, and it's always more deeper issues, and that's what we don't do. We don't want to delve into the deeper issues. But I
Right.
just don't. And the thing is, even if you did get that cut ass, you see, we were lucky in that there was no Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat when we were growing up.
Hmm.
Okay, we had phone your mommy, sisters, and tell them I just cut Chris ass. We ain't
Hmm.
had that. Why record it and put it up there on social media? I don't understand that thinking.
Well, I agree, and but it's all about how you look at it, right? Because I see positive and negative in the recording and posting, right?
She'll
Because
never come back home at that hour again. Gregory, you freeze. You like Black Panther. You're freezing. I never freeze. You're frozen, Greg. You're frozen. Ooh, child. Ah, Lord. This internet is very struggle. Y'all can still hear us? Should I come out and sign back on again? Yeah, let me do that. Okay.
Sake.
Okay. Ah, Lord.
You could hear me?
I could hear you, but I can't see you. What they say,
Well,
Chrissy? What?
man, listen. This hey,
Child,
these
Greg.
kind of things. Hold on, let me try fix my video. Keep talking, Chrissy. Let me fix my video.
Fix your video.
Yeah, let me fix my video. But they could hear, they could still hear and see you. Let me fix
Okay.
my video.
It's like, well, I know I
Um,
used the radio.
yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead and I go also pull up some of the comments that I see, right? But tell me why you think we continue to support like a lot of people, a lot of intelligent people I saw in support of this nonsense. Tell me why we still supporting this kind of beating and justifying it.
Because, Greg, it's our culture. Every Bahamian, I just did my own random sample of Bahamians and I asked them, were you ever beaten like that? That's because it's most of us have been beaten like that. I only tell Kirk, the only two Bahamians I know who never get beaten in their life was Kirk and Kim. One black, one white. Because I did a show on cut ass before long ago. But it is a part of our culture. That's why it's normalized now. It's like how violence. In the Bahamas, we're so used to hearing about the high crime rate and the murder rate and seeing bloody pictures sent to us on WhatsApp and the news that we are immune to it. We're desensitized. So it's a part of our culture. And I gotta lie, when I saw that video, I was just like, these parents still taking on their frustrations. Yes, the gal wrong. And what kind of man, you a 33-year-old man grinding that little girl and you wouldn't even bring her home and say, Miss, I did it? It's your statutory raping ass, you motherfucker. Anyway, I was get, yeah, I was get, I was getting my feelings. So, Greg, you could hear me? It's a part of our culture. And as long as Bahamians have two hand and two foot, they gonna be beating you with belt. Yes, you're back. It's a part of our culture, Gregory. Cut ass is Bahamian culture. Now I can't hear you. I could see you, but I can't hear you. I know. Greg, you going to say, Greg, is that the F word? What? I've succeeded. After 7 years, Greg has said the F word. Welcome, my child. Oh, Gregory. Greg, just go Facebook Live, child. I can't hear you. Look, I see you flailing. Look at Greg. Oh, Lord. Lord, we ain't got no internet, but we got cut ass. If only could power the internet through cut ass.
Hey,
Now I can hear you and see you.
I had to listen. I know I did not say the F word, but listen, I was on the break. I almost say it just now because this computer pissing me off. I
Come on,
had to yuck
say it. Let
everything
it
out
go.
the damn computer just now and throw it on the side because it was
I
running
saw.
me hot just now.
I saw. You'd feel so much better if you just say fuck.
I don't know if that can make me feel better because the issue still remains. Look, I trying to line up the damn camera on this damn laptop and it ain't even doing properly.
All right, don't worry.
No,
They could see us. They could see you with
hold
your
on.
meech bed.
With my what?
Big meech bed.
Listen, but that thing run me so hot just now. Ain't nothing was upset me more than when these things fail, yeah?
I
But
know.
anyhow.
Technology.
Let me get back. Let me
So
get back to this.
why do you think that so many people agree with the cut ass?
Well, I think it's like I said, this is cycle is, and like I put in the title, it's just hurt people hurting more people, right? So these people hurting themselves, but they don't even realize it. They don't even know that they hurt, and they projecting it on their children. They just competing that, continuing that vicious cycle of violence and hurt, and it's just never ending. And I think it's a multifaceted issue. There's a lot of reasons why they do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the tones I got was like almost a revenge tone. So like,
Of course.
oh, will this happened to me? So you think you can get away from this? I had to take this cut up, so you can take this cut up too.
That's
I
right.
saw that tone, and then I saw, of course, the go-to. What most of them go to is, oh, well, it ain't kill me, and it make me a better person, so I can do it to my children. I just trying
Yeah.
to get them on the right path. You always have that, and then again, you have how they cope with the cognitive dissonance. Is that okay? I love mommy, but mommy doing this thing that I know wrong and shouldn't be doing, but I have to kind of get rid of this uncomfortable feeling that I have because one is good, one is bad. So, you know what? I can just justify it with some nonsensical answer by saying, well, they love me or they do it with love. So, it's many reasons why I think people continue to defend it. And plus, you don't want to believe that mommy, daddy, Grammy, Annie, all these people that do these things to you because you love them. You don't want to believe that they bad people. And
True.
so you have to find some way to defend these actions because that's the only way it remains or it keeps your parents in a good light. You know what I mean?
I agree. And plus, your parents tell you. I remember growing up getting cut ass. Like I said, I will admit, my father was not the big disciplinarian. Now, of course, I
Hmm.
stopped living with my father when I turned 13. I would see him on weekends. And I remember my daddy telling me, even when I did wrong things, my daddy was like, I'm not going to spend our weekend together cutting your ass.
Hmm.
Let's talk about this. But your parents tell you to your face. My mother, my grandparents, my grandfather only spanked me once too.
Hmm.
They tell you I beat you because I love you. They say that I only doing this because
Yes.
I love you. So it messes up your head. So
And you know what it is, and you know what I always like to say when they come with that line. Hold on, let me read a comment later. When it comes to that line, right? Doesn't that sound familiar in these domestic violence
yeah,
relationships?
same thing.
What Leslie Miller say in house?
Oh
Said a woman that say, "Man, you ain't love me because you ain't beat me."
yeah,
But
but
then
it is
people don't want to
pathology.
hear that.
It's a pathology because very seldom do Bahamians. Well, let me just say, people as people, we don't like to do introspection. See, if I start, like you say, if I start questioning those things about me, I could feel some way about my parents. I'm gonna feel some way about my okay, about my grandparents. I'm not gonna ask those questions because okay,
What
they
happened?
no,
We're going on. What
no.
happened, Chrissy?
Look here, I watching my friend.
Huh?
Hold on, look here.
One chocolate man walking there or something, mate.
A stripper gram.
Huh? The only thing I see get you react like that is if a chocolate man walking there, man.
Yeah, because I like chocolate.
Look at you, man.
I know. I'm
Mother
looking at
sick.
those.
Hey, Chrissy, get one napkin, eh? Wipe that dribble from your mouth, eh?
I know.
Wipe that
Stop.
dribble from your mouth. You're dribbling. Catch
You see
yourself.
it? Yeah, only
Catch
catching
yourself,
drop.
man.
I know. I dribbling. Lord, look
Mother
here.
freeze.
That's when you ain't had none in a long time.
You in a drought.
Look here.
You need some of that healing what Marvin was talking about.
Speaking about beating it bad. Anyway, now that's a joke. That's a joke. Poor joke, but that's a joke. You know what it is? They must have the wrong door. Certainly do. Yeah.
Mm. But gather
Okay.
yourself, woman. Gather yourself. Gather
Yeah.
yourself.
Man, I in Atlanta. All I can think about is dick. Atlanta's the land of sex?
I did not know that. I
Yes.
didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me. But I see Barry made a very valid point, and he says ends justifies the means, and I believe that's the attitude of a lot of Bahamians on this issue. It's like they believe that the end result justify the means to that result, and that's not always a
But
good
that's
thing.
not
Matter of
true.
fact, a lot of times that's a terrible thing. You
It
know what
is.
I mean?
Because most people
Because
who've been beaten their lives, ask any, there was a survey of Her Majesty's prison. inmates, and they talk about the abuse they received while growing up. So obviously the abuse.
Oh, hold on, you say someone already did it?
Yeah, there's been a survey was done like in the when that was sometime in the 90s. So I'm sure it's worse now.
Look that
But
up for me because I
survey
really
done.
wanna. That's my mission. My next mission, right? What I want to do is I want to go and do a survey of the prison now and find out not only how many of them were beaten as children, but some other different questions.
All right, abuse,
Um,
sexual abuse.
yeah, a bunch of different questions to get some real data. You know what I mean? Because too much time, especially in this country, we like to go off of anecdotes, what we believe, what we
Yeah,
think, what we see, and we
that's
don't like to do a lot of studies. We don't have a lot of hard evidence. Matter of fact, that's frowned upon. I was on a show the other day, and the person was like, "Man, y'all see y'all trying to go with all these statistics and all of these studies, and you
all
can't
these
go by them things."
details.
I say, hold on, what? You can't go by studies and statistics. So what the frick you want to go by? He said, man, see, everything come from God, and you got to go. It's the Bible, and I say, oh, jeez, these people got to stop operating in this nonsensical way. It makes no sense. You ain't gonna get nothing accomplished like that.
That's not going to
Mhm.
happen because the Bible absolves me from responsibility.
Hold on, you see this, Chrissy?
What's that?
Andrea say, Greg and Chrissy, there was a second video with a grown a man beating her as well. Man, stop the madness, man, Andrea.
No, man, they beat her again? Let me get my
Stop the
next one.
madness, man. Where this video is?
No, man. Well, let me be
Stop it.
disgusting. Lord, I ain't gonna never be able to come home. Anyway, look here. I should have asked if I ever. No, I am going back. Well, let me be disgusting. My mummy stand right there and let her husband beat the shit out of me. They
Mm.
lucky I didn't fucking kill them in they fucking sleep.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm not
My
hateful
goodness.
anymore. I've gotten healing.
Yes. But that's the thing. A lot of people are not getting that healing. A matter of fact, a lot of people don't feel like they need to be healed. A lot of people walking around and saying that they
Who
normal
don't
and
feel
nothing wrong. Huh?
people feel they don't need to be healed? Most Bahamians
Chrissy.
who hurting and fuck up, no, they hurting and fuck up.
No, sir. No way. Trust
You don't
me.
think so?
I don't, I know so because I've been dialoguing with these people, especially for the past couple of days. They have no idea in their minds. They have convinced themselves that they are perfectly fine, that
You
nothing
think so?
is wrong with them.
I think so.
I,
Oh,
see,
I think
I ain't
people
taking
don't
this.
get help.
This what they
Greg,
telling me. This ain't what I thinking. This what they
I
telling
say
me.
that too, they lie. Because people, guess what? When you're hurting and you've been hurt, you know you need the help. But help is not easy to come by in the Bahamas. It's either very costly or because of the lack of confidentiality, there's a level of shame.
That's a big thing.
So that's a huge thing because from
Yes.
volunteering at different places, people so paranoid about people knowing their business. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
tell them everybody got their own history of abuse and maltreatment. And like I
Yes.
said, the reason why it doesn't change, Gregory, because just me and you on this show, okay, this out of two people, two of us have experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's a part of it's in our DNA. But for me, and I like the whole history and racial component. I still don't get how black people who were whipped and beaten and chained have no problem beating their children. I remember one time when Wayne did something silly as a little kid, right? And I remember his father telling him, like, how children hit their parents sometime. They don't really know what they're doing. Like 2 year olds, they'll hit you back. And I remember
Right.
him telling
Right. Right.
the time, he would say to Wayne, don't hit your mother. I'm like, okay, that you confusing me. So I could imagine with a
Mm.
2 year old. I mean, it's hard to explain. We
Mm-hmm.
tell children, we just send mixed signals.
Yes. Yes.
And I think you can't see you and I'm processing my feelings now at 55, you processing yours at 32. Like that little girl in the video at 14, I think they said she was.
Mm-hmm.
She can't process what's going on because she already in grief because of her parents.
Right. And
So
who
she
knows
has
what
that
else?
hole in her heart. And maybe,
Yeah.
and we all know as adults when we grieve and we just go get some doggy. So in her mind, this man did everything.
Speak for yourself, eh?
I feel so sad. I need to fuck. Now
You
listen,
ain't speaking French. Don't include me in that mess, because that's not
Greg,
what
be
I do.
quiet. Most people, when they are in pain, they go for food, they go for sex, they go for shopping. We're always trying to placate and ease that pain. So
Hmm.
whatever this man was saying to her, you're already a teenage, you're already an adolescent. Your hormones are raging. Okay?
Hmm.
I don't care how much Bahamas pretend they so goody. Okay, your hormones are raging. You're raging. Your parents are deceased. You have to uproot yourself and move to people who you have to live with. You know, again, even if she was fucking that older man, why reinforce the hurt by beating the shit out of her? And if
Yes.
you say now that the older relative beat her again, it's like, and then when these people run away, you the first one calling us in the media to try find your child.
Yeah.
I'd run fucking away from your ass too.
I want them to run away from you all.
Well, no, don't encourage runaways because
Hey, listen.
it's dangerous.
Run away. Run away. If they
I
beat
feel
you like
sorry
that,
for the girl.
if they beating you like that and saying killer, 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 that is danger. Your life is in danger. You need to run away from that.
Well, there's also the
And
shaming of it as well. Because why did the relative, apparently it's the cousin who said she tried talking to her, why you got to say her name in the school she go to? Because what her life can be like
you
now
know what it
when she go
might
back
be?
to school. What her life can be like when she go back to school.
You know what that might be? 2%. You know, from what I understand, and the tone as well, seemed as though when the parents died, I think they thought more people would step up to help out with, the
Yeah,
kids.
well, that happens all the time.
And
I heard that you have clean clothes on your skin and you people loving up on you and
yeah, but what happened was it probably didn't happen, and she has now been burdened with taking care of this child, and she may be resentful to a degree. It ain't a child fault. It ain't, you know what I mean?
so that's
But
beat the
it
child.
seems as though she has a lot of resentment, and I don't know the person who shouted the information. Maybe that's the person who is doing the beating biological child, and she may also feel
Yeah,
like
that's
this
the
girl
cousin.
is invading on her space, and you know what
Sure.
I mean? And maybe that's that resentment. I mean, that's what it could be. I don't know,
Well,
but
that when you listen to the backstory, that does sound like what it is. But even so, Gregory, there's a lot of grief and pain and hurt. And I will admit, I know I don't know firsthand as a parent, but I remember when I would like break my curfew maybe an hour later. I know my mother telling me how worried she was until I ain't got lie. That's how look here. My mother is the original OG. I come home late one night, one time too many. My mother sitting up in the house with that cigarette lit. All of a sudden, I see the cigarette in the dark. I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna get my
oh, your mom was a mafia member.
OG."
She was in the
Marina was
mob.
Marina was the original OG. So when I said, "Mommy, I know I came home late, but hey, all my friends were out. I just come to take the punishment." She said, "Stop worrying about you. You ready?" She tell me this same woman who y'all think so safe now. She said, "Either way, I win because you insured and the car insured too." My mother was cold, cold, original
Cool, well,
OG.
cool. I tell you. But speaking of coal, I want to go through some of the comments, right? Just to show you how much people hurt, right? And
My
like I
friend
say, it hurt
Toya
my
said
feelings
she would have
today.
been beaten until now.
And it hurt. You know what hurt my feelings, Chris? You know what it really hurt? When you see certain things or behaviors from people that you love, you respect, you know they
Yes.
intelligent, smart, good people, and you just see them say things that is like, oh wow. So let me read this post, right?
And young and old
Remember
people.
the 15 young and old, I ain't no age with me, I don't care about age, you know what I mean? I don't do the ageism thing, right? So remember the 15-year-old that was shot outside the nightclub in Freeport? You all cried. Where were her parents then? Why couldn't she be controlled?
No, we
Now that a parent is
were.
concerned about the whereabouts of a teenage daughter, there is an outcry once again. You know what this tell me? Y'all done friggin' lost your damn minds. Is she dead? I bet she won't end up dead somewhere either.
You want
Some
me?
of y'all don't even have damn children. Leave that woman in her house. If she killed her child, then she suffers the consequences.
Wow.
This is a post
Well, first of
from
all, that
someone.
nightclub story, that know the facts in that story. That's a bad analogy you drew with that. I remember that 15-year-old.
Again, and this from somebody that has a lot of sense, very intelligent, someone that I love very dearly and that's very close to me. And I was very disappointed in seeing this. And they were doubling down in the comments. And one of the comments actually, I have to read it for you because you wouldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe it that the person actually had the heart to say it. I was like, these people, and I don't know if it's, social media has caused people to put on a cape and become dead brave. I don't know if it's enhanced because of social media, because I don't know if these people would say this in public. But one of the commenters said, agreed, the young lady's still living. She got off lightly. So, Chrissy, that what she received in that video was light because she didn't die.
Well,
This
and
is the
people say,
mindset of the Bahamian people nowadays.
but people say that, especially in that video, there was no blood that we could have seen. There was no breaking of skin that we could have seen. So, in their mind, because somebody said on my show again, someone who I think is a brilliant woman, she said that they missed a couple places hitting her. In the
Well,
Bahamas, we
Martha
beat you
said,
between your leg. We like to beat you between your leg. You know how we go in the Bahamas. So I'm not surprised at the comments because again, this is our culture. This is how most
mm-hmm.
Bahamians present themselves in the world. And people say things like, "Beating never killed me," and she lucky coming in my house. I bet you she won't come home after 10 no more. But
These people, I don't understand. I really can't understand because
Greg, why you can't understand?
there
This
was a
is our culture. This is a Bahamians been getting cut ass and Bahamian go together like peanut butter and jelly. Most of
no.
us
What
in
I
our
what I
late
don't
past.
understand. What I don't understand is why people refuse to just sit back and actually think for a minute. Just give it some thought. That's all I'm asking. Just give it a degree of thought. Like be objective and give it some thought and make sense. This is all I require, and people refuse to even give that consideration. They just going off of tradition. Well, listen, this my man do it to me. I accept it. I have already now been conditioned this way. This how it can be. Don't come around. And you know what? And I know you can love this one, Chrissy, because I've been receiving this because we've been discussing this on a talk show for the past couple of days, and this
I
has been thrown out even on Facebook, right? I know you can love this one.
Oh Lord.
How come anytime somebody is trying to be progressive, somebody is trying to implement positive change, someone is trying to do better, someone is trying to be objective, someone is being open minded, why is it that they all of a sudden acting white?
That because that's how Bahamians look at it. That's how black people look at things. For example, when I didn't hit my child, I remember my family teasing me, telling me that I thought I was Mrs. Lipschitz. Remember Rugrats doctor? Dr. Lipschitz?
Mm-hmm.
Said you shouldn't spank the children. I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
we still aspire to what is right is white. I just and most of us do know white people who never get beaten. Now white Bahamians
But
are
that is
different.
but isn't that so scary to you that
But that's
automatically we associate white with better or trying to do better
yes.
and black with being the same.
Gregory, when you
You
speak
understand?
properly, nobody has ever told, and I hear how you speak, nobody has ever said you're trying to speak what?
They tell me that today.
Okay, so and
That was said to me today.
okay, so that's how we are because remember now, Gregory, we have been programmed by those people who would have colonized us. So we have adopted a lot of their issues. And that is a myth as well that white people don't spank their children. Because I know some phenotypical,
Yes,
I know white people who's
and
get
you know
cut.
what? Oh, they just beat. And you know what I and this another thing. Bahamians, listen, y'all need to stop operating strictly off of your emotions and how you feel something is, because it really makes you sound stupid. Because Bahamians continue to throw out this whole notion that, oh, see, they can't beat their children in the states. They take the beating away from the parents. They take the beating of school. That is incorrect.
It's
It is legal to
false.
spank your children in the United States.
It's not
But people
illegal.
don't know this because they don't research. They go off what they believe. In all 50 states, it is legal to
Right.
spank your
You can
children.
spank your
In
children.
19 states, it is still legal to beat children in schools. So, Bahamians, please stop operating off of what you think because it is incorrect. Do your research first.
And this
Because they like to say, oh, see? Say again?
no, I said this corporal punishment, but then also religion makes us this high religiosity that we have as Bahamians. Even though they say it's not a direct quote, spare the rod, spoil the child. We like to talk about the religiosity about raising children. and brandishing that rod on them. But
Mm-hmm.
I have mixed feelings about it. Like I said, it's never gonna go away because you answered your own question. If I question mommy and daddy and I admit that I didn't like my parents when they mistreated me, it screws up my mind.
Mm-hmm. But then you know what helps, and this I tried, and this I was saying today. People feel like you attacking them when I say what I say, right? And you
Yeah.
notice I ain't attacking you as it ain't personal. I am hard on the issues but easy on the people, right? I
Oh,
You
I
see
like
this
that.
aggression, pardon?
That's a good shirt. Hard on
What's
the
that?
issues, easy on the people.
But this is what we need more of. We need to be hard on the issue. See, we don't get nothing accomplished because what we start doing, we start making things personal. We start attacking the people, and the issue
True.
gets missed. We
Yeah.
completely miss the
You know,
issue because it becomes a personality attack, right?
but
I'm
Gregory,
not attacking you as a person.
culture.
I may be attacking what you are doing, your
It's culture,
deeds,
darling.
your actions. But people don't separate that. They don't separate those things, and that's
But
why it's so difficult to deal with these.
for every little girl who go out looking for man, I like when how they and one thing that has killed me, and I shouldn't laugh about it, but as black people, like I remember growing up, I remember how my mother used to have to recite while she beating you. Ain't I tell you about do like they have to lick you and talk. They have to
With every
push you
word.
while they cutting your ass. And so
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is it's kind of like a spectator kind of thing. And so people get caught up in it. And that's why it's not going to go away because it is so ingrained in us. The fact that we
Mm-hmm.
beat our children anywhere. You hit one of my listeners to my show said, and I've seen this happen. And to this day, I look at that boy in school. We heard the stories of parents shutting down school to cut your ass in front of everybody. We cut your ass in church, we cut your ass in the food store, because there's it's so acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we get please, and that's why it's not going to change because it's like breathing air for a lot of us. And
Mm-hmm.
we still fall back to that default. It ain't kill
Mm-hmm.
me. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I turn out just fine. I ain't rude. But that's why
But
it
isn't
ain't gonna
that
change.
you know what I'd love to do, right?
What's
I'd
that?
like for people that have that use that logic, right? I would keep that same energy. I'm a big fan of keeping the same energy. You know what I want to walk up to somebody and do? I want to stab them or shoot them in the shoulder.
Now,
Let them live and say, well, what happened? You ain't died? What you dead? You ain't dead, right? So
here,
what you
here's
upset about? Because
Nelly.
that seems to be the metric. Once you ain't die, it is okay.
No, but
As
hold on.
long as you ain't die.
The measuring stick, though, is that you walking up to someone, slapping, stabbing, punching them, that is assault. That is actually an illegal act. Whereas cutting your cheering ass ain't an illegal act.
Yes, well actually it is.
No, not in the law.
I read it today.
What law in the Bahamas? What in the that's that in the penal code?
Well, let me shoot.
For
Where my
sure.
phone is? Where my
Yeah,
phone
because
is?
you'll keep your
I
penal code in your pants. You wouldn't have all these damn cheering.
hey, and listen, Chrissy, listen. I wanted to. I was so disturbed today, right? Just reading the comments and the posts and all of that, right? Listen to me. I go on the post today. After reading all of these comments and posts, it is quite evident that the majority of you parents should have used condoms and
Even condoms don't work. There are
should
many people.
continue to use condoms or
Well,
some form of birth
many of
control.
us who are parents. I mean, I admit to people, I had planned for my child to come in 2000. My child, people, we don't do too much family planning at home. I mean, let's
I
just keep it
agree.
real.
I
And so
agree.
children come into the world, you're overwhelmed, children expensive. A lot of us are parenting under duress. And there are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times when I'm frustrated and I'm mad at you, I won't go to my bed. I gotta keep the chain off the door because I waiting for you to come home because I don't know where the hell you is. And especially I fault the little girl because in this age of cell phone, even if you call your mommy and say, that no communication and going dark is what I think infuriates parents more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, they taking out their own frustration on the children. Yes, she wrong. You don't go to school at 9 o'clock and come home 10 o'clock. You don't do that. She wrong. But that level of punishment I mean, what was next? Cigarette burns? I just think that it was torturesome. It was on borderline torture. Yes, it was a
I agree.
Bahamian cut ass. And even the
I
terms we
agree.
use, cut ass, the terms of pejorative, the terms of mean, beaten. I have mixed feelings about it. I just think that even if she was acting out like that, for example, I bet you if you ask them parents, in this particular case where we know some of the facts, was she given any kind of treatment or counseling for losing both of her parents?
Probably
Was
not.
she given any kind of counseling or whatever for having to uproot and shift her whole life? And again, I'm not saying that because you've been through things in life, you just end up on some dick as a 14-year-old. I'm not saying that. But I just think that there are other backstories that
Yeah,
explain why she is like this. And children don't just decide, I'm going to be a badass child today. There are reasons for the behavior. And a lot of times we don't examine the reasons for the behavior.
I agree completely.
But
Now I looking for my teacher. Must he carry my phone out in the front room because I looking for it because I want to read the law that I read earlier today.
yeah,
But
because I never
but
had
even
on.
but even that law, right? Even that law, it still has a degree of ambiguity that could allow a lawyer to wiggle someone off. You know what I mean? I can read it right now. Bring it.
Okay.
Let me read it because they brought this to me today because I was surprised to know that it exists too. And this
Okay.
is section 62, one of the Child Protection Act. And it says, if any person who has attained the age of 18 years and has the custody, charge, or care of any child assaults, ill treats, neglects, abandons, or exposes him, or causes or permits him to be assaulted, ill treated, neglected, abandoned, or exposed in a manner likely to cause him unnecessary suffering or injury to health, including injury to or loss of sight, or hearing, or limb, or organ of the body, and any mental derangement, that person shall be guilty of an offense and shall be liable upon summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $5,000 or imprisonment for 2 years or both, or upon conviction before the Supreme Court to a fine not exceeding $10,000 or imprisonment of 5 years or both.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
Now,
that is
first
section
of all,
62
that's
of the
very
Child Protection
ambiguous.
Act.
That's very ambiguous. That could be,
Yeah, like because see,
yeah.
I wish they had defined what is considered to be assault. You know what I mean? You have to define these terms
More likely
so
that's
that people can't wiggle around it. You know what I mean? That's why I wish it had more definition and more teeth. You know what
who
I
happens
mean?
to write our laws in the Bahamas? Their Attorney General office. Your drafting team, you suck. Our laws are so ambiguous, but I guess that's why lawyers stay in business because of the ambiguity
Exactly.
in the law that allows you to, because from the Child Protection Act, that mostly deals with, I guess, sexual assault, abandonment, those kind of things. But again, when you are a parent, you basically are responsible for that child from 0 to 18. That child is, what is the age of attainment in the Bahamas? No, it's still 18, but you could grind at 16.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you have
Yeah. Which makes it.
responsibility for that soul, and that soul is yours to do with as you. I mean, not as you wish, but it's a tricky
No,
thing.
no, 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 no.
It's
It
just so
is, but you
sad.
and like I tell people all the time, you don't own your children. You merely responsible for them. Well, let
Yeah.
me go through some of the comments. Let me try and be a little better with these comments. Jamira Ramesh says, so how to correct 14-year-old girl who is sexually active? And see,
Well,
it's
you
like
don't
I
wait
say all the
till
time, right?
14. Did you teach that girl
Say again,
about
Chrissy?
sex? But then you can't wait till the child 14 to put the horse back in the ring.
Right.
Did you teach that child, teaching your children about sexuality and family planning starts way before you get
Yes.
your period. And the thing is,
Yes.
what I hate about this as well, we are so focused on these girl children,
What about the boys?
it's because the girl children get pregnant. I
Right.
it's a tough thing, but you have to shape and mold that child long before her hormones are raging. Because all of us, when we were
Mm-hmm.
teenagers, our hormones were raging. I
Mm-hmm.
just think that it was just handled poorly. And so you have to
Yeah.
raise your children. You have to train. That's why parenting is a full-time damn job. People don't realize that. Parenting is a
Yes.
full-time job to
Yes.
guide your children in the right direction. All right? It's a
With no
full-time
vacation.
job.
Yeah, and like I said, you have to, and that's a great point. I'm glad you said that, Chrissy, because a lot of people don't have that talk with their children. They don't teach them about sexuality. They
We
don't
never
teach them these things, and then they want to be upset when the child is in. It's natural human feelings, natural emotions. You are going to get horny. You are going to want to have sex. You are going to be attracted to people. This is natural human feelings. You
But in the
have to
Bahamas,
teach.
though, they
Mhm.
feel that you don't have them feelings. If you listen to the Christianity and the churchianity of the Bahamas, you don't feel horny and you don't feel them feelings till you hear the church organ play "Here Comes the Bride." Humans
Which
don't
is
realize that
nonsensical.
even if you look at babies, that's why I tell people when we talk about sexuality, even babies touch themselves because there's a sense of pleasure to it. But we don't like to talk about that because, again, in our Christian faith, we are taught that our bodies are dirty. We are taught that, I remember when I had my period, my grandmother's talk. Now, luckily, I had a mother who was a nurse, but my grandmother's talk to me was only the clot's supposed to touch down there. What the fuck kind of talk that is?
Nonsense. Well, look here, Chrissy. Christian, do some research for us too. Christian say number 118, notwithstanding anything to the contrary in this or any other law, no form of corporal punishment shall be imposed as a penalty under any law in respect to the commission of a criminal or disciplinary offense.
Really? And
See?
where's that? That's under Child Protection Act. What act is
Where
that under?
Christian, which act is this, Christian? If you could let us know which act you got this from, just
Yeah.
inform us as to which act you pulled this from.
Because you know what's ironic too? A lot of these rights with assault have to do with adulthood, but not with childhood.
Right, and that's what I was thinking just now. I was just thinking, is this in
Right?
regard to, let's say, someone gets a criminal offense as an adult? Does that mean
Exactly.
that they are not
That's the
subject
cat
to
of nine
corporal
tails.
punishment? Because that's what
Exactly.
that may mean.
That's what
Which
that
is
I'm sure it has to
ridiculous.
do with the cat of
We
nine
listen.
tails.
Under no circumstance shall you punish a grown adult that has committed a crime against the state and has been convicted. However, for your
But you
little
can
child,
sure.
feel free to beat them. That is utterly ridiculous. Makes no sense.
Yeah. And the thing is, I will admit, a lot of times as a Christian nation, quote unquote, we don't like to talk about it. But if you feel your child is promiscuous and you don't want to be a grandparent, you then have to put a barrier between your child and them sperm. And this is unfair, but it falls to the girl children will be unfairly judged because we the ones who get pregnant. I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
all the boys are gonna run away, but when it comes to the safeguarding of that sexuality, the
Mm-hmm.
girl child is the one who is looked at because, again, the girl child is the one who's get pregnant. So if you
Right.
believe your child is sexually active, if you believe, then you got to put your child on some kind of barrier. I mean,
Yeah.
people wanna. I remember one time at this summer camp, this young girl, and because of what we do in the world now, children having young girls are becoming women. They're getting the menarche at damn 9 and 10 and thing. I remember this
Mm-hmm.
little girl playing in the yard at the camp I was at, and all of a sudden I saw she was bleeding, and I said to her, I said, let me talk to you. I said, are you having your period? And she was like, no, I just don't know. I just been bleeding for days. I don't know what's wrong with me. So see,
Oh,
nobody has told her that. And so,
wow.
a lot of these children, these poor God angels, they walking through life with no supervision, no kind of, and
Raising
especially in
themselves.
the lower socioeconomic categories. Because, no offense, a lot of us don't think when we have children. Children is
Okay.
like a byproduct of grinding.
Yeah. See, a Christian saying it's Christians say it's under Title 8 law as the punishments in the Penal Code of the Bahamas.
Yeah,
But I
that's
think
oh,
Christian, I think that pertains to adults
yeah,
that
that's
have been convicted, if I'm not
canonizing.
mistaken. But
Yeah.
talking about just teaching children about sex and stuff, right? Christian, I heard this thing from a comedian a couple of days ago, right?
What
And
is it?
it made me laugh, but it's so true. It's really too easy to make children. But
It is.
the one thing we all love to do and aim to do in life, which is have
Yeah.
sex, juice.
Yeah.
The result of that action is making a whole human being. It is
Yeah.
really too easy to make
It is.
children. She
And
say it's harder to make a croissant than it is to make a baby. Say, wouldn't it be wonderful if you had sex, you would make croissants instead?
man, I
And it's
can't.
and you think about it, and it's like it
It's true.
really takes more effort to make tuna and grits than to make a whole human being.
You know what? Hold on. Let me throw this at you. I can't take it. Not a croissant. But that's true. There is no special skill. Sperm meets egg. And then again, and the thing is, we all know that at certain periods of your life, and no offense, we Bahamians and we black people, we tend to be dead for a little bit. Okay? I tease one a friend of mine, they on their fifth baby. I say, child, if your husband texts you, get pregnant. We dead for it. And so that's right. It's true. Anybody can have a baby. I mean, there's no
Right.
special skill. Child,
Good
Greg, I don't
evening,
know what to
Helen.
tell you. Ain't
Yeah,
nothing
too
to teach.
easy. It really too easy. But let's
Right?
let's wrap up by defining because a lot of people a lot of people tend to, and this is what Bahamians are so crafty. They know just what they be doing, right? They like to use discipline in place of beating, right? They
Yeah.
use it as though it's the same thing. They don't make the differentiation between those two words. They use it like it's the same thing. You know why? Because beating sound bad. It
Yeah.
make it what you doing, the actual word for what you're doing sound bad. So you can try to replace it with a word that you know we agree on. Because we agree you do need discipline. You should
Yeah.
discipline your children. But you trying to be slick. So you use discipline instead of beat because you know we agree
Yeah.
that you should discipline your children, but you really
That's
mean
true.
beat. So let's talk about the difference between abuse and discipline. Because I really believe Bahamians don't know the difference. They don't have an understanding. And it's just as far as eyes go, meaning them personally, they feel like as far as I go, it's good enough. Whether that be
You
punching your child in the eye, beating them with belt, beating them with stick, if I do it, it's fine.
No, you know what it is, Greg? It's the default. Okay, now the thing is, I will admit, see, I's the kind of mother, my poor son. You see, I just give you a punishment with this mess with you. I just take your PS4 for 4 months.
But that's good.
Watch you.
I can
I
do
just
that.
think it's the default mechanism because to think of a punishment, it is much easier for me to be like, get my shoe, let me cut your ass, than to think about, okay, what can I take away from Johnny Quay? It's hard to. It
You know what it
involves thinking.
is?
It's easy to
Uh,
just cut you out,
Instant gratification. That's all it
right?
is. Instant gratification. See, they only looking for what can stop it in this moment, right here, right now. I don't care about the long-term effects. I don't care about in the future. Right now, I want you to learn and stop and do this thing right now. So the quickest way for me to do that is to slap you upside the head or grab the shoe or
Right.
grab the belt or the stick or the switch or
Right.
whatever it is they choose to
That's
use
easier.
and hit you with it.
Right.
And they don't
Plus,
consider
that
that
makes
as
me feel
abuse.
good.
Yeah, exactly. It's also selfish.
Right. I
It's
get my
very
rocks off.
selfish and it's an ego
I hope
trip.
that little girl gets some therapy now that we know the backstory. I hope she gets some therapy. And the thing is, when you say therapy to Bahamians, especially us black Bahamians, they be like, oh, you think you're white. But that
God.
girl is in pain. That girl is in pain.
She's been in pain. I mean, Chrissy,
And
do you know? See, you know what it is to lose at least one parent, right?
yeah,
I don't know what it is to lose a parent yet.
it's
Can you
painful.
imagine losing both your parents in the same year at a teenage age?
Right. And
You know
and
what I
and
mean?
and can I would like to know the backstory behind them because you see a lot of what we see in the Bahamas with these behavioral issues, it's cyclical. Because I'm sure there's a backstory behind how her parents left this earth. There's always the
Mm-hmm.
backstory, and
Yep.
we never wanna take time to investigate the backstory. I hope that now that the parents have find out you like man, you are man. I hope they get
Mm-hmm.
on some birth control because obviously that is your fear that she could be out grinding somebody and making baby. As a matter of fact, don't even
Mm.
give her no pill. Put some damn implanted birth control in her because we can't
Wow.
trust you to take that pill every morning. Yeah, we don't look. Them crazy family genes, y'all need to cut back on your procreations. Gonna put that out there. Thanks.
Yes,
Um,
but let's
so they a lot of work to do with that. And so this video, the good thing about the video, it's a talking, it's starting a
yes,
conversation once again. Because this ain't the first one. Remember the Jamaican woman slinging her titties, beating the girl in
yeah,
the yard.
we do a
And
show on
again,
that as
why
well.
your titty on Facebook beating your child? Why your titty out there?
Yes,
Why?
yes,
You got
yes.
done show me you crazy.
Yes, yes. And who knows what happened to her as a child? You know what I mean? And like I say, it's just a cycle of hurt people hurting more people
It's
and hurting the
cyclical.
people they love and closest to them. But
So we could talk
abuse,
about it, Greg, but it ain't gonna stop. We could talk about it as long as you want to, but the pain is too deep for it to stop. You
Sean
just need to
asked,
do. No, go ahead.
okay, Sean asks, do you think that beating a child is a quick way to control or use your authority on a weaker vessel like slavery? Yes, I do, Sean. That's exactly what I think. And that's exactly where it came from. That's where we learned it from. You know what I mean? They saw a master do it
Oh,
to control the slaves, and
yeah,
so
and
they
that's
implemented it.
why black people like it so.
That's what I
See,
don't
for me,
understand.
slavery and
And
them things.
and
You
we
know what?
claimed that.
I hated the humiliation of beating.
Mhm,
Like you getting beaten in front of people, you getting your cut ass on in front of the family at the dinner. Like
mhm,
why the humiliation? Why the shame? Why is the why the
mhm,
need record
Again,
it.
it's selfish and it's an ego trip. You know what I mean? You won't feel like, oh, you challenging me, big bad me? Who you think you as, you little child? Let me show you.
Yeah,
Let
beat
me
your own self.
embarrass you. Let me reduce you to nothing. Let me show you who I am. That's all it is. Ego tripping.
And
And
then,
abuse is defined as to use wrongly or improperly, misuse to abuse one's authority. Like Sean said, you're using your authority on a weaker vessel. That sounds
yeah,
like abuse to me.
yeah, but
And it
I
also says to treat in harmful, injurious, or offensive way, to abuse, or will use a horse? You don't need that one. To speak insultingly, or speak. Would you look at this verbal
oh, well,
abuse
yeah,
also?
well, yeah, we
Harshly
say
and
abusing.
unjustly to all,
Yeah.
revile, malign. So that is the definition of abuse. And a lot of y'all is trying to skirt around it or try and change it. But if you are doing these things, you are abusing your children. You are not disciplining your
Well,
children.
everybody getting abused then.
Everybody getting abused. Why you think we in this situation we in now, Chrissy? Why you think the
Everybody,
Bahamas like this?
and that is why these same people who are hurt as children, they then grow up and they continue the cycle of stupidity and
Mm-hmm.
the hurt. And there's so many scarred people. And maybe because the Bahamas is small, you see it a lot more. I noticed from being in America, I could distance myself from assiness. I could go in my own little cubicle, in my own little bubble. But it's very difficult, especially for
Mm-hmm.
those of us on Nassau, to distance ourselves from the crazy because it's all around.
Right.
So again, it's the default. It's easier for me to say to like my boy Anku, who does make he said when his child would do something stupid, he would make him write lines, and every letter was a different color pen. You see, you got to be creative to come up with that shit.
Yes.
Line for
Yes.
see, yeah, but
Yes.
you gonna reach for your slipper and throw it at your child.
Because you're lazy.
Well,
You're
it's
lazy.
what you know. It's what you saw. You saw mama do it, dad,
That too.
grandpa do it.
That too.
It's generational.
But again, no, and I agree that too. But still, that's being lazy. You just going off of what someone else do. How about trying to think about some new ways to do things? You understand? And
Maybe we
it's
should do
like
that show.
thinking is too
Let's
much
do
work.
some new punishments. Like here's a punishment I did for Wayne. For 30 days, I told Wayne, do not speak to me except good morning. I won't tell you what he did because I too shame.
Wow.
30
But
days.
what was the effect on him? What did that do to him?
He to this day, if I go silent on him now, my man, what happened? Mommy, remember that time you didn't speak to me for 31 days? I was like, oh, you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he was like
Mm-hmm.
9. No, I
So
just
would you say it was effective?
it was effective because I will admit now, I'm just saying maybe my child is like me. See, even when I grew up and I got beaten, very seldom did I get beaten for the same offense because I so was scared of beating and didn't like it that because again you feel humiliated. So I tried my best not to do shit again to get in trouble. But we all do dumb shit. That is what growing up
Right.
is. You don't make mistakes. We all do stupid things. And during the teenage years,
Yes.
your from 12 to like 20, you're an asshole. And you do silly things. That's how you learn. You learn from doing
Right.
dumb shit. And I just think that we
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
the patience for that. And a lot of us as parents, we forget that we was cheering. Like I have to remind, I have a
Boy,
friend,
look
right?
here. We get all virtuous. We forget the
You
things we
know?
used to do. All the
Oh,
sneaking around we used to do. The things behind our parents' back
oh,
we used to do. You know what I mean? Matter of fact,
we
maybe that's why
discussed
it
it.
is they react so quick because they know what they used to do. And
Them
they
people know
afraid that their
y'all know.
children could do those same things.
And you want to beat your child. You want to beat your 16-year-old when you 32? Shut your ass. Uh, uh, don't mind me here. Respect your mom. Don't listen to me. You
but that's
damn.
but that's the thing.
You alternative.
I am all for new methods. Like I say, you try that method. You know what's underrated? The guilt trip on a child.
Oh yeah, you could do that too.
Guilt tripping your children is very effective. Like
It
they
is.
love you. So if they feel like they disappoint you and you show it to them,
You tell
that
them
really affects them in a way.
when you say I am so disappointed in you. Oh, that is fucked them right up.
Even you don't even have to say it like that. Just your reaction, like you said, you're not speaking to them as a way to show how disappointed. Like
Yeah,
I can't even
like my friend
talk to
say the
you.
look. You give them the look.
Mhm.
You
Yeah, like I can't even talk to you right now how disappointed I am in you. And they could tell. No, trust me. They could tell.
yeah,
And I
me
see
too.
Dakota reached it. I wanted Dakota to do the show, but Dakota won't go there playing flag football.
Well, you know she
Football.
got to do
Uh,
that.
uh,
Well,
with
I
the
just
people.
think,
Boy, look here.
as a parent, parenting.
Because Dakota let me down too, and Dakota, I can tell you now, you let me down too. You let
Well, you
me
know,
down.
Dakota got to be an athlete. Plus, she doing makeup and everything. She
I
busy.
ain't talking about that. Dakota said she'd slap her daughter in the face.
Oh yeah, I saw her comments about that. Because again,
Yes.
it is an emotional issue. But can I tell you, these same hard mouth, stallion mouth people talking they shit when it happened to them. Like, I remember back in the day, if my daughter get pregnant, I'll beat her between her leg with monkey time and then I'll do all this. And when it happened, you was buried there. You was shut right down up. And you try
Uh-huh.
the best way you can.
Hard
Everybody
mode.
had
I
mouth
was,
ain't them.
Chrissy, I was one of them people. Let me tell you, I think I tell you this before, but I ain't sure. But before I was a parent, because I was, and I'll admit, I was fooled too. I had the same stupid ideology, just like a lot of these people. I've been there.
You
I
were
was there before I was a parent. You know what I used to say?
what?
When I have a child, I can trip them down when they start walking to let them know who in charge. That's what I used to say. Me, the advocate against beating children, the hardest advocate in the Bahamas, against beating children.
Gregory!
I said that dumbness. You understand?
Gregory!
Because I've been there. I know about the conditioning. I know about not thinking and not giving it any kind of objective thought and just going with what you know, going with, listen, they beat me, so I got to do the same thing to my child. I've been there. You understand?
Gregory,
Until I
you're the
realized I had a
stupid
child, and then I was like you say, all the hard mode in the world until you have your child. And I was like,
exactly.
how in the world could I bring myself as
Mm-hmm.
a grown man to hit this beautiful gift that was given to me? That
Exactly.
I, the whole process of being in the womb, feeling the kicking, the birth process, the crying, the feeding, the changing, the pampers.
Yeah.
How could I bring myself to hit this little creature
Well,
that I love more than anything on earth?
everybody
How?
don't think though. Everybody don't think. And the thing is, it's an emotive response. I still can't believe he's gonna trip them down so they could. Jesus Lord.
That's
Gregory.
the
Lord, I thank
Chrissy,
God you was delivered. Thank the Lord.
Chrissy, that is the stupid things I used to say.
Well, that's what
Trust
you
me.
heard. You heard that. We children learn what they live. You can't plant okra and expect tomato. Children
See,
learn what they
Chrissy, what you think with it? See, Dakota whole position is she would slap a child if it's a serious situation. What you think about that?
Well, I believe if you're going to spank your children, and I said this before, even with my kid, I would do hands, buttocks. I think the whole punching, you're cheering like there's man and woman, and like what that lady did at the end of the video, started sousing that gal in her head. I was like, this damn Mayweather in this video, eh? She started actually punching that gal. I don't think you should hit your children in their face, in their head, whatever. I just don't.
Dakota say if it's serious, she raped, she willing to slap her.
Now I will admit I've gotten slapped in my mouth like one
But
time.
was it okay? Was that
You
made
ready?
it? That made it
I,
right?
no, I'm not saying it's wrong. My mommy and I was mouthing off. I was a very mouthy child. I know it's hard to believe. Yeah, my mother gone tell me one time I look like my damn daddy. So my hard mouth. I was about 14. I was like, lay down with dogs, get up with fleas. Well, look here.
Ooh.
Them cartoons where the mouth is beat to the side.
Yeah,
My mother slapped
but
the shit out of me in my mouth.
but let me ask you this, Chrissy: was you wrong?
I wasn't wrong. And again,
Okay then.
I just want to tell her who the fuck I supposed to look like, but you can't say who the fuck to your mom.
But see, that's my problem with a lot of Bahamian parents too. What they consider to be rude is some parents believe that a children correcting them on something is them being rude.
Well, you're not supposed to correct your parents. Children are seeing and not heard. Shut up.
That is that is the stupidest, one of the stupidest positions anybody could have in life.
That's our
But this is
culture.
something we live by.
That's our
Ridiculous.
culture.
Yes, we have a retarded culture. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
And that's why it ain't gonna change. So maybe your next show we can give because I know I've done these shows before when I used to do shows with the Ministry of Social Services Parenting Division, alternative forms of punishment. Because
Yeah.
again, I did shows where I see parents who have burnt their children, maimed their children, harmed their children. I'm telling you, I have seen. That's why I say when I finish doing my shows, I'm gonna have a lobotomy because there's so much shit I don't want to remember. People
Hmm.
who have burned their children with fire because they get upset at their
Hmm.
children. Because a lot of, like you said, parenting, anybody could fuck and have baby. Ain't like it's a
Hmm.
special skill. And so people
Hmm.
are overwhelmed. And this is a hard time. A lot of people are experiencing hard times. So when
Yeah.
I come home from work, I know you're supposed to be home. Your DW Davis uniform is supposed to be on your bed and you out. getting grind. Of course
Mm-hmm.
I could beat your ass because I'm mad.
And it made you making me look bad. You know what I mean? Just a reflection of me. You making me look bad. So now I gotta
I
show
take
you.
you in. You ain't my child. I take you in, and this is how you can pay me back. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many things going on with that story. And this is the
Yeah.
problem in the Bahamas. We have so many layers of abuse and dysfunction.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
why we don't have resolution. I mean, you have some
Right.
happy moments where we have resolution. I could think of a couple families who have managed to get from out of the tunnel of hell. But by and
Mm.
large, we don't have resolution because it's so multi-layered. Because when
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
listen to the story when you were telling it, two parents dead, I living with someone else. I'm grieving. It's so much layers to it.
Yeah. And
A
Christian is saying
gallon.
I was allowed to
Where's
speak
the
up to
truth?
my parents as long as I came with facts, etc. As
Really?
long as it was done respectfully, that is. That's
Look
why
at
I'm
why
grateful
they?
for my parents. Well, listen, Christian, you had wonderful parents. Most of us don't have that
You
luxury of
baby
having.
man?
Well, say, be baby. Most of us don't have that luxury of having progressive, you know what I mean, objective parents. That's a wonderful thing, and that's I guess why you're so fact based and research based now.
Well,
Barry
God
says, yeah, it does, and say again.
he blessed.
All right, let's read the go to defense. Let's see what she's saying here. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's okay. Well, that should be the end right there. I mean, what else we got to say? But anyhow, but I've
She know she ain't
experienced
to
the
slap
situation.
Karen in her mouth. Tell her shut up.
She
No.
say, I'm not saying it's okay, but I've experienced the situation before where it was so emotional. And I was so overcome with disappointment and the situation was so hurtful that was my reaction. And that was on a teenager in my life that I have never beaten and I raised her from she was a baby. Never beat her once until that one slap. Well, from you start off and saying, I'm not saying it's okay. At the end of the day, like I saying, I'm not saying you're a bad person, but if a bad act is a bad act,
Yeah.
regardless of who
Yeah.
commits it or what the situation is, a
Exactly.
bad act is a bad act.
And you can't do that. Like I said, if what happened to that girl in the video at 14 was done to an adult, that would be assault and it would be an
Yes.
arrest. Whereas with your
Yes.
children, you can do all manner of shit to someone because they're in your custody. They're your child. You're their guardian. You're able to do these things to anyone from 0 to 18 years of age, especially, this my house. You living in my house. You eating my food. So society allows you to do that. But if you did it to someone grown, they could say that they were assaulted by you. It's just a mixture
Mm-hmm.
of emotions.
And that and it makes no
It's
sense.
a mixture of emotions. It's a
It
sad
makes
situation, but
very very sad. And
and it make a
and
change.
like I say,
Ain't giving up
it's
cutting
good.
down.
It's good that we have these discussions. We need to have more of these discussions to find some resolutions. To be honest, from what I've seen, I will be real. I don't think a lot of y'all can stop beating your children. But hey,
Oh,
that ain't gonna stop me. That ain't gonna stop me from doing my part and trying to at least get some people to change their minds. To at least think. And a lot of people is telling me, "Oh, you think you know it all? Oh, you trying to tell
yeah,
people how to raise their children?"
yeah. People say
I'm
that
like,
to you.
listen. I ain't trying to tell nobody how to raise their children. Like I say, I am hard on the act itself, not on the people that are committing the acts. My thing is, I am just pointing out something that is
Right.
wrong.
Plus, your
That's
child
all
gonna
I'm
grow up
doing.
and be mad and then hold gun in my face. Your child, a lot of these
Right.
boys around here walking around Nassau, they mad because they ma and pa abused them, and then they want to take it out on the whole world. So I mind in my business. Your child can be mad at you, and then go try joke me in my head because he mad
Hmm.
at you.
And no one's saying parenting is perfect, Dakota, but parenting is a process. And you have to be able to learn and adjust and make different decisions and think outside of that traditional box that you were raised thinking inside of. It is adjustments. Kids
Yeah.
are different. These are different times. There
And
are
these
many
different
different
children.
methods.
And you
Yes.
guys tell parents if Facebook was around when half of our asses was growing up,
Oh man.
please.
Oh man.
I know
Oh
what used to
Lord.
happen at St. John's, Mardi Gras, and Shirley Street. Shut your
I mean,
teeth.
everybody acting all holy and
You
sanctified
know,
now because they get catch getting all feel up in the school bathroom back
oh,
in the day, and
when
now they
y'all
want to
get
judge other
lost now,
people's children. You
when
know what I
y'all
mean?
get feel up in the cabbage patch. Shut your teeth.
Yeah, right. They're acting all the time like they ain't never do nothing in life. Like they
They
all
ain't never
they
seen
was
no
a
dick
perfect
before then.
perfect child growing up who never do nothing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But now they want to come out and judging these people's children. Y'all better come from around here pretending. Ain't
Especially
nobody
mom.
on there.
Mom and them
I
is gonna
telling you.
have 12 children for 11 different men and want to tell you how to live your life. Sit down,
Yeah,
mama.
come from around
Come
your
from around
place.
here. But you can't say that
Like
to you
what they
can't
say,
say
have several seats.
that's
Please.
disrespectful. You can't say that to the adults.
Yeah, we ain't on that run. But anyhow, people, we want to thank you for tuning in. I want to apologize for the technical difficulties that we had a little earlier. You know, you see this old bootleg camera I holding the laptop now. This run me so hard today. Chrissy wanted me to curse. I almost cursed because boy,
Yeah,
look at my
that
computer.
F was right here.
You know what, Chrissy? You think if I'd have beat the computer, it would have fixed?
Yeah,
You think beating the computer would have fixed it?
You ain't killed the computer. You should have beat that.
That's true, you know. I should have beat the computer and maybe it would have behaved. You know what? That was my computer being rude. Next time I can beat the computer, I grab the belt, I grab the stick, and I can punch the computer in the screen, and we can see if it can work properly. But the camera and the mic start freaking out in the middle of the broadcast, so I had to just grab that, throw all of that out the computer, and just do this the bootleg way. Hold the laptop with this old crappy laptop camera and this crappy microphone. But hey, we get it done either way, by any means necessary. We get the show done. It was a great conversation as always. I love talking to you,
Tell them what
Chrissy.
they can do. Tell them where they need to go to start putting some skin in the game. Because see, you just cut up.
Well, see, I cutting up because listen, see, I don't like to ask people for things, right? And I know Bahamians is niggas, right? They want to consume, but they don't want to contribute to that consumption, right?
Please.
so,
Tell them where to go.
They will suck up all your entertainment and you ain't want to put nothing to help you put it on, right? So if y'all don't want these mishaps to happen, listen, if you want to make a donation to some new equipment, to help get a better Wi-Fi connection, because this is a labor of love for us. We love you all. We love to have conversations, and we want to give back to the community. So we have these conversations. We ain't making no money off of this situation. So, you know, it could be a little struggling from time to time because, listen, I ain't putting no major investment into something that ain't generating no income. It don't make no sense.
You better bake them cookies.
Right. So it don't make sense.
The website is. Where they go.
So if you all want to donate, the website is goundertherug.com. That's goundertherug.com. We have a section there where you can donate if you just want to send an in-kind donation, or we have specific campaigns where you can donate to new equipment or locations and stuff like that. So if you all love the content, if you all love the conversations we have, if you all fans of the show and you all want support, go to the website and make a donation. Or, like I always like to say, what Chrissy don't like me to say, but it's the truth. If you're a little broke or takes a little rough, you ain't got the money, a share is almost just as good, because what happens is it spreads the reach, it gets the views up, and if people are seeing the video, then you have corporate Bahamas. They can't deny the attention that we garnering, and if they want to sell their products, they're gonna have to pay us to advertise. So if you ain't got no money to put, please share, please tag your friends, spread the video so that we can get the views that would cause companies to want to invest in advertising with us, and that we could get money that way. So if that's what you want to do, please do that. Once again, thank you, Chrissy. Always appreciate it. Use my road dog, because anytime, any adjustment, I can say, Chrissy, it's this time, and you say, I can be there. And I appreciate that very much. You don't have to take the time. Say again?
Look here, because you saved me. I would have been stuck right there taking shit. Until Gregory said, you ready? Should I do it? You ready?
Go ahead.
You can do your own podcast, but no, you want to sit up in the studio taking people's shit. Yeah, remember that conversation? I just love doing that.
I wish I did shake my head and neck like that.
That's just where Kaylee get it from. Look, I tell you a long time. Come on, Greg. Did you not do that to me in 2015?
It went something like that, but it wasn't exactly like that. But I understand, you know, you gotta, we as Bahamian, we gotta sauce it up, we gotta season it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
No, but guess what? I like what you're doing. What you're doing is the future of Bahamian media that's not controlled by the powers. It's an exchange where people can have independent thought. So I see Under the Rug Media changing the landscape in the Bahamas.
Yes, and Christian is asking, do you guys have an Instagram or upload the videos to YouTube? Facebook is hella gentrified. Yes, Christian, we do upload the videos to YouTube. So you can search for the Under the Rug Podcast on YouTube, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Most of the videos are up there. We have a number of videos up there. So yes, we do upload the videos to YouTube, Christian. So please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube page as well. That goes for the rest of you. Please subscribe. Also,
Chrissy, where could they subscribe to you? Because people still ask me, where Chrissy? I don't see Chrissy no more. Where Chrissy? She ain't doing the show no more. Where I can find Chrissy?
Chrissy gone. No, Chrissy's on YouTube now. Because let me be disgusting. Google, just buy me coffee. So Chrissy's on YouTube, youtube.com/C/Chrissy Love Live to the world. I'm there weekdays, 2-ish to 4-ish. So that's why I be holding court with the Love Nest. It ain't about me, it's about the Love Nest. It's my avid group of supporters who has encouraged me in my gratitude. I love them.
And roasting people.
Yeah, we just drag you.
Yeah.
Dakota
say she'll be back.
Yeah. You gotta drag them. I said, the day I want to tell you, right?
You was hitched them to the back of that big pickup truck in Florida gas.
Yeah.
How you was drag these people? My goodness, I feel bad for some of them.
For filth. Shall we had a good drag 2 days ago. Sometimes these damn hypocrites.
Yeah, I agree.
Saying one thing and doing the next thing. Shut your teeth. Shut it.
I agree. So go ahead if you want to tune into all of the dragging that Chrissy just be doing on a daily basis. Go ahead.
Okay, but I also educate and uplift. I don't only drag.
Well, you just lean more to the dragon side these days. I ain't gonna lie. You do more dragging than educating these days. I ain't gonna lie. You just be dragging and roasting for the majority of the show. You sprinkle a little bit of education in there from time to time.
Greg, I just told people the other day the Bahamian people didn't realize that our parliament began in 1729. Some of these people who's watched the show, I educate.
I say you sprinkle some education in there, but like I said, for the most part,
tomorrow is Frowsy Friday.
So that's low and dry. That's a straight drive. I hear you. Well, I sure people are doing it. Yes, ma'am.
Look here, hold up on cookie. Let me see one cookie.
You know more cookie to see all going, man. All going.
I go on your Twitter page and I be licking my phone. I missed the cookie caterer, but y'all don't do
Lord.
Right? Y'all
hopefully soon.
Huh? Yeah, you could use deliver to DC.
Not yet, but we can try figure something out to be able to do that. But anyhow, let's get out. I ain't gonna take up no more of your time. Let me let you go finish. You're probably drinking tequila or something anyhow. Let me let you go enjoy.
I said you sent some in America.
Oh yeah, you say you stopped since you reach America. Since you reach America, you ain't got to drink no more. But whatever you was going to do, just go ahead and enjoy it. Have a great night. I appreciate you all. Like I said, please continue to subscribe, like the page, share the page. And until next time, peace.